Get ready to quit the build. The QTB crew is rounding up all the gaming news and hot topics of the week with a little extra something. And here are your hosts, Bruno, Brad, and Nick.
Oh my gosh, welcome into the QTB podcast. I am your host, Nick, and I am joined, filling in for Bruno. I mean, I tried to say what it do, but only Bruno can say it that way. And I am joined by the one, by the only. I've got QTB's Brad, first of all. What's going on, Brad? Welcome in. How you doing?
Nick, hope your Christmas was good. I hope 2022 is coming to an end super quick. I mean, this is the last podcast episode. This is it. This is the last one.
I can't believe it. Yeah, here we are.
How can we not end 2022 with a great podcast episode with a special guest?
We have a very special guest here, and I am super excited about this right now because we just did a co-stream on TikTok recently. It was amazing. The one and only. Now, okay, I got to introduce you as more than just a streamer because you are a fashion designer. You got a clothing brand you co-founded. You're a voice actor. You're a musician. You're on Spotify. And just an all-around man of action on the internet. Everybody give it up for the one and only. It's Ahren Gray. There he is.
Hi. Where'd the claps come from? How did we find that? There's an audience. This is cool.
Okay, so we have a soundboard. Normally it's Bruno's job. I'm the guy now, so I'm going to be pushing some buttons. Maybe I'll push the right button. But yes, we have a real audience, a live audience, and we have this audience. Yeah.
It's awesome to be here. Thank you for having me on.
It's good to have you. Yeah. And so I'm excited to have you on. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of stuff on TikTok there, TikTok streaming, and we'll get into some of the games that we've been playing even together. I have to bring this up because I did a stream recently where I played Fortnite, and we kind of do a similar thing where if somebody sends in a certain gift, a challenge gets issued. And, most people that do this to me when they send in a challenge, they do something tame like, don't jump, or, no hammers this round. But Ahren, Brad, I want you to understand that this guy is devious. He may be all smiles, but he will absolutely go for the throat when it comes to challenges. He comes in and says, you can't say the letter E in any words, or you have to drop a weapon. Okay?
Okay.
Think about that for a second. In Fortnite, while communicating, you can't say the letter E.
Guy is... down.
You can't say yes.
Bonk stick.
Bonk stick. Oh man, yeah.
Guy is north.
Exactly.
Guy is south.
Can't say east.
Yeah.
Can't say west.
Can't say it.
Guy is in front.
Oh no.
So
he's going to take the challenge for the whole podcast.
I'm down. One thing that you don't realize is the word "the" is so commonly used.
Oh.
Then the challenge where we couldn't turn right, and then that was that was
Joel
hard. And I wiped on that one real quick. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel bad for that one.
Anyway, we'll be talking a little bit more about Ahren, what you do there on TikTok and the awesome content that you're coming up with there and beyond. But I guess our intro section here is we're going to be doing a little bit of what you've been playing. Always a fun one where we chat about the games we've been playing. So, and first of all, welcome into our chat right now. We got a huge live stream chat going in, and you guys are going to be part of the conversation as we're going through these stories. We're going to bring you in, so keep that conversation going, and we'll be checking in with you as we hop from spot to spot. I see Richie Rich, I see Caitlin, I see Caviar, Terry, all your favorites, and the hashtag Wood Gang. It's not as dirty as it sounds. Well,
we can have a conversation about that later. How about that?
Save that for QTB nights. That's a different podcast.
Right.
Mm-hmm,
that's right.
But let's jump into it with what you've been playing, Ahren. We'll let you kind of kick things off. What's this week been looking like for you games-wise?
Yeah, so there's been a huge variety of games that we've been playing over on the @Ahren Gray Games TikTok channel, and honestly, there's a whole list to go through. I don't know if we have enough time. So starting with number 1, it has been Fortnite. And that's basically the whole list. So, like I said, it's been kind of ridiculous. We've been playing a lot.
Gotcha. Give me 1 second here, Brad. I think did you turn up your volume? You're kind of loud. Something changed there. Give us 1 second, King. Get some technical difficulties. Brad, do you?
I haven't done anything. Are we good now? Is that better?
Oh, we're good now. Never mind. Okay. Sorry. We'll edit that in post. I do that.
I do that.
Sometimes I have to do that. I'm telling you. Okay. Anyway, good deal. Yeah. I mean, Fortnite. I mean, that's basically what we've been doing, man. Is just nothing but Fortnite. Well, not nothing but. I mean, I play a lot of Fall Guys. I play a lot of. But I mean, Fortnite this season honestly has been a really fun one. Like the hammer mechanics, like all the crossovers, the collabs that we're having right now. And just the balance of the weapons. I mean, I don't know how many seasons you've played in the past, Ahren, but have you been enjoying the flow of gameplay so far? Are you a hammer stan?
So I stopped playing it specifically because the building aspect was so hard to like. It's such a process to learn. You know, it's like learning how to function with another limb, basically. Mm-hmm. So I played it a bit in the past. It just never stuck with me. You know, and then I stopped, and then I heard about No Build, and No Build was like this big moment for me because the second that it came out, all I could do was play No Build now because it's so much fun. It was probably one of the best decisions they could have made on Fortnite within like the last year because like the number of players that have joined the space because of No Build has gone exponentially higher.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because when we came out with the name Quit the Build, that wasn't a thing. Like, you know, build mode was still around. And I did that one video where they got rid of the building. And I'm like, you know, Fortnite has removed building. Sweaty players are tilting. It should be a permanent game mode. And then, you know, like 2 or 3 weeks later, and we kind of called this on the show. We're like, yeah, they're obviously testing the waters to see, like, you know, with the mantling and the sprinting, like, is it going to stick and be popular enough that, you know, that we can separate the two modes permanently? And it happened. So first of all, you're welcome, Internet. You're welcome, Fortnite. And second of all, our name is Quit the Build because like people come into our streams all the time and they're like, oh, you should do build mode. And I'm like, I have the easiest out ever. I'm like, have you seen our name? Quit the Build. Ain't gonna happen.
I wish that I could do that. I would just be like, no, I don't want to. That's my excuse.
The casual player play, you know, like no build mode and see what happens when it comes to just mantling and sprinting and all of that. It's just a different gameplay style. You don't have to be as aggressive. You can just complete your challenges, roll week to week, and then maybe pick up a win or two versus I feel like in build mode it's a whole different gameplay style. You got to harvest material, you got to be ready to build at any time. You know, even in No Build, they give you the little base if you want to throw it and pop it up. It gives you a little bit of coverage for just like a particular encounter. Like I really think No Build is the right balance for the casual Fortnite player, which is probably a large portion of Epic's base. I would guess
100%.
They needed to make the move. Like they needed to make the move such a long time ago, and I think they knew that. We're just like players like us. We see the fun of Fortnite, we see the crossovers, but then we get into just the sweatiest build battle of all time. And like, you know, I think our mentality has always been like, okay, just get the shotgun, wait at the bottom of the 5-foot mansion that they just built, and eventually they'll come down and fight you when they realize you're not going to build a tower to the sky.
Exactly.
How many times did you play that in the olden days when all of a sudden you shoot somebody, you ping them once, and then all of a sudden there's like a 10-foot tower, and you're just like,
just okay, a 5-star hotel resort, just ready for
I'm out. I'm out.
I'm checking in and checking out immediately.
See you later. See you later.
Exactly. So I'm a lot of Fortnite. I know you just hopped back into some Stardew Valley as well there, Ahren. How's that been after a little hiatus?
It is both the most relaxing and the most excruciating thing, Stardew Valley. Like, it's one of those games where, like, you can look at it and be like, oh, this is cute. This is a cozy game. Stardew Valley is not a cozy game. You got things to do. You have dogs to take care of. You have people to romance so you can make sure that you have things happen in the way that you need to. You got to find some purple shorts in the game. There's a lot of things you have to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Have the shorts.
You have to find the shorts.
I love it. Yeah, it's you know, I just started up a playthrough there on our Saturday streams as we wrapped up Power Wash Simulator, and I mean and people had warned me like, you know, it's not as chill as you think it is, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a back seat. I'm gonna go at my own pace. If I'm not, you know, a multimillionaire in this game on year one, my grandpa can just, you know, can just be disappointed. It's gonna happen. Okay, he's not gonna work out. I'm gonna give me some chickens. I'm going to name them after people in my stream, maybe some corn, okay? And that's going to be it, Have some awkward encounters with somebody that I'm going to try to marry, which it's tough. It's tough. I've accidentally given the cookies that I made for her to other people or dropped them more times than I'd care to admit. Yeah. Life is tough, Brad.
Got to do what you got to do.
But awesome. Well, yeah, as far as games this week on my ends, a lot of what Ahren's been doing, I've been doing because I've been playing a lot of streams there on Fortnite, and the streams have just been a lot of fun. I've been having so much fun hopping back into Fortnite. I will say I'm really glad that I figured out that I am not a mouse and keyboard guy. Like, it's just not going to work out for me anymore. Like, I have crossed that Rubicon. What do you got?
So here's the thing. I did a challenge. You know how we've been doing challenges on TikTok as of late when people send gifts and stuff like that? Somebody challenged me to use a controller in game. And I was like, oh man, like controllers are just not my thing anymore.
Right.
A little known fact that you might not know about me. I was a semi-professional for Call of Duty when I was in high school. So I would travel to the state and I would go and do Call of Duty tournaments and stuff like that. So I was the Xbox 60 freaking sweat lord. You know what I mean? But then I got a computer and I was like, heck that thing. So I lost all like hand-eye function with it. Anyways, going into Fortnite and doing it, I was like, this is really easy. Using a controller is really easy on Fortnite. There's a gun in Fortnite. It's called like the Red Eye, I believe it's what it's called, where it has like a red dot sight on it.
Yeah.
Using that, it was so funny. Everybody in my chat was saying that I aim better using the Red Eye on my controller than I do with my mouse and keyboard. And I was like, well, I don't want you guys to say all that. That's kind of embarrassing. You know what I mean? But man,
Brad, they've done that, right? Where now, because of the way that that the controller works, they've kind of found a way to bring it into a PC setting without having one necessarily be more powerful than the other. With the aim assist too, where like, when you're moving past somebody and you happen to pat you, like your reticle slows down a little bit, and you get some snap aiming as well. Yeah,
even the reticle integration is relatively new. I mean, that's something that's only been around the last couple seasons. I mean, having kind of that pseudo first person sight view. They've only brought a few guns out, minus the sniper, that really like for short or mid-term or mid-distance combat that you can do that. So I think that's really kind of also changed the gameplay style a little bit, because before it's always just kind of been that pseudo third person aiming and shooting. There's never been that sight down centered look. And I think the Red Eye, you've got the DMR, the Cobra DMR, the DMR now that kind of provides that mid-range ability as well. That's really changed the way people can be precise in how they aim. How many times have you gotten like 3-shot from a distance because someone's like spot on with a DMR? Like it's kind of ridiculous.
And didn't they just recently add the sliding mechanic as well, like not too long ago?
The sliding came a little bit ago, and then the mantling came shortly after that. The sprint, then slide, then mantle. Because I remember when they first added the sprint or the slide, it was great because you're at this top of the mountain and you could slide down and avoid taking fall damage. And then the mantling came, and you're like, oh, I can climb, then slide. Like, it made traversing the map be so much easier, because there was times you'd land at a corner of the map and it was basically a marathon of a match just sprinting to beat the storm because you literally landed on the wrong side of the map. And 100%. I think a lot of this mobility became a lot easier now that they've added some of this into the game.
I just remember a lot of people from Apex being like, they're stealing our tech, bro. I was like, all right, well.
I mean, there's so much that's there's cross-pollination going on between Apex and Apex Legends and Fortnite and Call of Duty and even Halo. I mean, look at Halo Infinite. Shout out Bruno. We're going to talk about Halo Infinite for a minute. We talk about the Battle Pass concept and the system of what you can earn in a season and we've talked about maybe the pitfalls and the shortcomings of the Halo Infinite Battle Pass system and things like that. So there's so much cross-pollination in gaming right now in these, kind of live streaming, live service gaming environments. So
yeah.
But I still think Epic does it the best. I still think season in, season out, Fortnite continues to deliver fresh new content that you want to continue to be either a Fortnite crew member or buy the Battle Pass each season.
There you go. I have to point out that Bruno is joining us from the live chat right now, who said that controller is better than mouse and keyboard. Shots fired.
Sassy.
That's all I have to say.
I'm being attacked exponentially. It's nice to meet you, Bruno.
I'm pro controller too. Don't get me wrong. I've never played on PC, so
I gotta go.
Hey, you just said you aim better with controller. I mean,
Just because I aim better doesn't mean that I like it more. There's a difference.
Yeah. Like I said, my first couple games, like I played some mouse and keyboard games growing up, like Team Fortress 2, some Counter-Strike, not well. And it's been a hot minute since this gaming PC is the first one I've had in 15 years. So I when I got on there, I gave myself a few games, and I'm like, you know what? There's too many buttons here, and I don't like it. Give me a controller, and that's what I did. So that was my time on Fortnite. I am now strictly a controller stan. We also been playing a lot of Fall Guys. My gosh, I mean, the Fall Guys action has been just absolutely crazy lately. This new season, they added a bunch of fun holiday. We care more about the costumes when we stream than we do about the game itself. So we got our little Christmas trees. They had the Grinch outfits are now in the game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Santa
a
Grinch,
thing?
regular Grinch.
Yeah.
Did you get those? Aaron, you missed them.
I missed them. Oh, that makes sense. Christmas is definitely over.
But yeah, it's been a ton of fun. Of course, we stream Fall Guys on Fridays and Sundays.
Don't we have Fall Guy proms as well? I mean, Nick, right?
Okay, look, and I got to tell you, we're changing the game of Fall Guys. I'm just going to say it outright because most people you do the custom games and you play to win. Okay, but and this happened one day when we realized that when people play Blast Ball, typically the last round you will have the last two players like go and like hug each other, and then just kind of get into a pushing battle. It's like an unspoken rule of the game mode. And so we took it one step further. And we're like, well, wait, what if everybody does that every round? And so we're like, okay, well, you could see me working out the logistics in real time of like, okay, wait, this is like 30 plus people. If there's one troll that says, hey, Blast Ball, I'm going to get you, it's ruined. So I'm in here in chat like for a good 5 minutes, like giving everybody a speech about here's how we're going to do this. If you throw a Blast Ball, I will find you.
You went all Liam Neeson on him, didn't you?
I didn't say that.
I will find you. I will hunt you down.
But it actually is working. So we get some Spotify music going, some romance, and now it's been like holiday music as well. And everybody picks a dance partner, and we start dancing. It's something special, and like every time it works correctly. We go through like 2 or 3 rounds. We have a guy who pretends to be the DJ and like plays the saxophone for us. It's the most wholesome thing in Fall Guys. And if we don't turn this into a dedicated mode, Mediatonic, I'm looking at you. I know you see our streams. Okay. Fall Guys prom mode. Let's go.
All I gotta say is next time we join, if Aaron, you're in there, save me a dance. I'm reserving a dance now.
Okay.
Okay, Siri, remind me that me and Brad have a very urgent date that needs to happen.
There you go.
Fall Guys date.
Saving your date. Thanks,
Nick,
Siri,
make it a long song. Play like
play
make
Freebird.
It Freebird. Ballad Freebird.
We're going Freebird or Albuquerque.
I want to milk it. I want to milk it as long as I can.
This is still a better love story than Twilight. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys.
I think the audience. That's. They agree with the one clapping sound that I have on the soundboard. They're all about it. What about you, Brad? What have you been playing this week?
I've just been getting through the week. It's been a busy holiday season, and as you can see, your boy's finally rocking some upgraded headphones for the podcast. So
I love it.
Santa came through. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. Everyone's enjoying some new gifts, some time with the family. But when I squeeze it in, I've been playing a little Fortnite, and my wife and I have been playing the Switch.
Ooh,
so,
okay.
We've been getting it back in. I got the expansion pack or expansion service. So we've got all the old Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo games. But we've been diving into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Party Superstars, just, fun family, in the home, split screen gaming. And it's been a blast. I mean, those games hold such a key piece of what's not, what you don't get in Microsoft and Sony with PlayStation, Xbox, you get with the Switch, you get with Nintendo and their platform. And it's been a lot of fun to kind of get back into that with the wife.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always fun to see. And you've been having so much fun with all these new things, the goodies that you got here for the holidays. That's good for you, man. It's great you're finding some family-friendly options there with the stuff you got.
You and Bruno, that's been the 2022 goal for you guys, is to have me get a Switch. So it finally happened.
We had to spend like a solid 30 minutes in Vegas, Aaron, being like, okay, you know what? We're here. This hotel TV does not want us putting in anything other than whatever they have set up. But we're gonna jury rig this HDMI setup. We're playing some Switch.
Did you guys make it happen?
We did make it happen.
We did. Oh yeah, you better believe it.
Didn't break anything.
What did you guys end up playing?
Some Mario Kart, right?
Yeah, and there was that other one where we had to work together. It was like a swinging game.
Heave Ho. That game is so
you guys played Heave Ho?
funny. You played it. It's so you played it, Aaron? Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. It's a good party game on multiple platforms. Like with the little Joy-Cons, it works perfectly. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, great stuff. And we got some gaming news to get into here. Kind of a recap that we wanted to go over of just, we did the Game Awards streams. Aaron, you were an official streamer there for the Game Awards as well. That was awesome. So we'll kind of have to pick your brain here as we go into kind of our 2022 year in review segment here that we're going to be getting to in just a little while. But first, as always, want to give a huge shout out to our amazing sponsor. I am talking about Winner Winner Live Arcade. Guys, if you haven't seen already, Winner Winner Live Arcade is now doing more trivia than ever. They've got up to 3 trivia sessions per day with a live host, where if you can answer all 12 of their questions correctly, you're going to win a ticket jackpot that you can use to redeem in their arcade winner's circle for thousands of prizes. I'm talking electronics. I'm talking about plushies. Aaron's mind is blown right now. And your boy Nick from QTB, I'm going to be doing 4 live gaming trivia sessions this month alone, where I'm going to be giving video game questions. This is great, Brad. Aaron's kind of filling in the job that Bruno usually does, where he just puts like a token, on screen. I love this. I need you for every podcast, Aaron, as our hype guy. Yeah. There you go. Yes, the live trivia is there and some of the most amazing claw machines that you're going to find. The link to download this is in our description or show notes. Check it out. And if you go to pay.app.winnerwinner.com and recharge your tokens with promo code WhatItDo, you're going to get a bonus 45% tokens on your next purchase to play the live arcade, trivia, and a whole lot more. Thank you, as always, to our amazing friends over at Winner Winner Live Arcade. There you go.
I'm going to go there now.
Winner, if you don't get in this guy's DMs right now, this guy just sold like 10 downloads at least. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love the reaction. That's great. Okay, so we got to get into our big story here, which, like I said, is kind of our year in review. Rather than go to a specific article, I would like to kind of pick your brain first here, Aaron. You saw the Game Awards. But what were your personal Game Awards? Was there a game in particular that maybe was a sleeper or that you thought should have gotten more recognition in 2022 than what we saw at the Game Awards? Did you get through the entire Kratos speech, which now is confirmed by IGN to be the longest award speech in the history of any awards ceremony on TV?
To that, I want to say, as it should be. It made me very happy. I could listen to that voice for eons. It's the best thing in the world. Yeah. There was a game that I very much loved that didn't get any recognition. And now that I say this, I realize I don't know if it came out this year or last year. I'm pretty sure it came out at the beginning of this year. But Cult of the Lamb was actually a game that I loved with my whole freaking heart. If you like roguelike games, if you like Stardew Valley, if you like raising a cult, then
it's the game for you.
Well, it sure is the game for you. It's beautiful. The best way that I can explain it is you are a lamb that is basically you had some bad things happen to you. Now you have to answer to this cult leader who wants you to raise a cult in the living world. And you just hire a bunch of nice little cult members, and the art is gorgeous. The fighting is a lot of fun. It's just a bunch of small things put together. Like they do a bunch of they do a bunch of things decently, but come together. It makes it this beautiful experience that just makes for a lot of fun. I feel like everyone should check out Cult of the Lamb.
When that game came out, a lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people were playing it. And I mean, was it Devolver that published that?
It was Devolver, yes.
They're always known for like the most ridiculous and over the top games. Like, even though they're mostly a publisher, like they do have that theming around. It's always interesting to see what they're going to announce and what games come out. I'm not too surprised by that, Brad. I mean, we've seen. I think 2022 has been the year of the indie. We've seen so few first party games, really across the board. That we've talked about this many times about Game Pass's reliance on third-party and indie titles to really keep that service sustained. I mean, it's really not a surprise that I think a lot of people would be gravitating towards those titles as like for me, for example, Power Wash Simulator is low-key my game of 2022, and I can't believe I'm saying that right now. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I think we look at there a lot of the indies that it provides a different experience than we get with a bit large AAA developer games, right? I feel like those are somewhat formulaic. We know what we're going to get. They're kind of in a pocket. And then we kind of get outside that pocket with these other games. Like, to me, I want to give a couple shout outs. And Nick, you did a jingle about this one, Stray. And Stray got some recognition at the Game Awards. That just had such a unique launch, reception. It was so cool. And I mean, and to me, that's one of my personal favorites of your jingles. I think that was well executed. But for me, also a throwback. I'm going to give shout out to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, and the Cowabunga Collection. Can we talk about how solid of a release that was? I mean, just to get back and play some of those games again, and after a long period of time. I mean, I've owned several of those games on those prior consoles. To play that again was awesome. So for me, those are a couple that I think deserve some recognition and kind of shout out here as we get to the end of the year.
Awesome. Okay. So you had said there, Call to the Lamb was a big one there for you, Ahren. Was there anything else that just kind of didn't show up? We got Bruno in the chat saying "Rain on Your Parade." We did play a little bit of that. That was a fun one. Anything else at all that you thought just got snubbed or should have had more recognition on the awards?
Now that I'm looking at it now, Call to the Lamb was nominated for Best Indie, just didn't win because Stray won. And I will say that Stray is like rightfully deserved. That game is heckin' awesome. But another game that I felt like it felt like a year of the indies for me, kind of. And one of the indies that did really well for me that I really enjoyed, and I saw a lot of people really enjoy when they experienced it, was actually Sifu. If you guys ever looked into Sifu before, that game was awesome. Innovative, I would even add. I kind of wish that it got more attention, though, is the only thing.
I think it was the fact that it was a PS or PlayStation exclusive, at least for a timed exclusive, and that's maybe why it didn't get quite as much attention. I want to say it's getting a multi-platform release here pretty soon. So when that happens, you're probably going to see more people chat about it. It's just hard when it's already indie and then it's only on one platform for a certain length of time. It's weird to me because like on the Game Awards, and I thought this was a huge flub on their end, they put it in the fighting game category. I'm sorry, a fighter and a beat 'em up are two totally different things. Like it looks like a fun game, but like I would never put that up against Street Fighter. Like what?
Break it down, Nick. Educate me on the difference. Why are those different?
Here we go.
Let's hear it out. Give me your TED Talk on this.
This is a devil's advocate moment here because I'm just using terms. Yeah, no, like a beat 'em up is like Final Fight or Streets of Rage, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like we were just talking about, right? Where the whole idea is you have sometimes multiple players. Yeah, take notes on this, Aaron. You're going to need this. There will be a test later.
You. Don't worry about
This will probably be one of my trivia questions on Winner Winner. Watch, it will be now. Where you go in, it's arcade style, left to right. You're scrolling, you're beating up. Usually it's meant to eat quarters, be very easy to play, but very tough to actually beat. Bosses that are I would say bullet sponges, really more punch sponges. Which is a fun term. I'm never going to use again.
More of a game of perseverance than skill.
I've never heard that one before. Punch sponges.
Nice. Yeah, write that one down.
My book is upside down.
No one noticed.
It was just me.
Until you said something.
Can we clip that and run that back? Yeah.
Right. Whereas fighting games are typically more of a 1 versus 1. It's more about the tech. It's more about the learning the move set, and it's a lot more.
There's a skill base to that. It's not just a perseverance of you said, a coin eater. Okay.
Right. So it was kind of weird to me that Sifu was like put into that box when it shouldn't have been. But I do think it's a really interesting mechanic of aging every time that you reincarnate with more abilities, but maybe less health, and like there's trade-offs to it, kind of like a D&D style thing, right? Where as you age, like certain stats go up, but certain stats also go down. That change the way that you might approach gameplay. So I think those are some good ones. But Okay, Aaron, big question for you. What is the Ahren Gray 2022 Game of the Year award? Who's going to get it?
Game of the year from the list of game of the year
Anything.
from the
Anything.
Oh
No,
my!
your pick.
Don't do this to me.
Well,
don't
too
do
late
this
because
to
I'm
me.
pushing the button.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm sorry.
They love it. They love it.
You had to make me pick something, and that was the first thing that came to mind. It was Pokemon Legends Arceus. A lot of people will disagree. I loved that game. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys.
Okay. I mean, so we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet now. I mean, have you had a chance to like compare and contrast like what you like more about Arceus?
So this was my ADHD hitting really hard. I said Arceus, but I definitely meant Scarlet.
Oh, curveball.
Hold on.
I apologize.
Audience.
I meant
It was
Scarlet
an honest
Violet.
mistake.
It was an honest mistake.
I apologize. The audience was a little bit rude there. Okay.
But Arceus does have a lot of quality things when it comes to the game itself. I feel like that game was kind of like it trying to show you like the direction that it can take Pokemon into. And for that, I give it an applaud. Right.
It was more complete, though. I mean, I feel like the back end of Scarlet and Violet were broken, right? We talked about that a couple weeks ago. No offense.
So from what I've been described from my friends, who I have some Poke YouTuber friends who I've known for a very long time who haven't gotten the fulfillment of Pokemon since like the Soul Silver days, basically, and like Black and White and Black 2 and White 2. Like those were like the games that were really good. But since then, they've kind of just been like, this is all stale.
Mm-hmm.
The end game for Scarvi, they have been telling me, has been some of the most like redeeming, like exciting moments they've had in a very long time, to the point of where they're actually completing Pokedexes, and they haven't done that since years into the past. And the end game is actually super exciting. The combat system that they added for the Terra situation is so like exciting, especially for competitive mode, because there's just so many different variations of Pokemon that you can run now. Give it their held items, their move sets, and their typing. It just completely flipped the game's script. It just completely changed it. I think that the problem with Pokemon for a lot of people is there's this situation. I'm gonna use Nickelback as an example. A lot of people don't like Nickelback. The reason why they don't like Nickelback is because people say all of their songs sound exactly the same. Therefore, they also believe that all of their songs sound exactly the same.
Come on, bro.
So now they're going to hate Nickelback. It's kind of like, they're just following off of what other people say. The thing with Pokemon Scarvi is that people found out that there was performance issues, and that was enough for them to be like, okay, I'm done with that game. But the funny thing is, the performance issues are mostly in the beginning of the game. The further you get into the game, at least from my experience, at least from my friend's experience, and from a lot of people that I've spoken to, the further you get into it, the better the performance is. And a lot of the end game graphics are actually gorgeous. I think that it's not fair to attack that game for an extremely the things that they're being attacked for. Pokemon isn't known for doing. They've never been known for their graphics, ever. They're not known for their graphics. You know what I mean? So why is that the thing that we're attacking them for?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like my whole wrap up of my thought process for the whole entire game in itself. But it was an extremely fun time. I haven't felt that attached to a Pokemon game in a really long time, and I find myself coming back to it at least on like a bi-daily basis.
Okay, well, by the way, we have Caitlin in the chat right now saying, I'm a Nickelback hater and I will not explain myself.
Oh my.
That is, that we're, and you don't have to apologize, okay? But look at this photograph. That's all.
I'm not saying that Nickelback is good.
It makes me laugh, Nick, every time. It makes me laugh.
I'm not saying that Nickelback is good. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who hate Nickelback for no reason.
Right. It's like the Smash Mouth thing where it's just like, oh, we're just, you're the meme band.
Yeah,
right.
It's just meme hate. People just group in on meme hate. And that's how sometimes people get.
Absolutely. But, I get the sentiment, Aaron. Honestly, it's, I purchased the game, and I remember it was like Thanksgiving Day, and I'm like, you know what, I got some spare time here. Let me jump into it. And the frame rate, it was rough. It was very rough around the edges at the start. And my thing was, like when I buy a lot of new games, is you know what, I'm gonna table this for now. I don't doubt that it's a good game, but I want to get the best possible gameplay experience. And I think they're probably gonna put up some performance patches. I think the game was rushed out they just didn't have enough time to polish it. But I think now that we're seeing the end game, we're seeing the robust mechanics and all that in there, that they're underneath all of the issues. There is a great game. I know the Terra raids are still janky, and that was a problem in Sword and Shield as well. But if they can work out those problems and just get the performance to be up a little bit more than from where it is now, it doesn't need to be a maximum performing game. It's a Switch. It's never going to happen, But if we can get to like a stable 30, like most of the time, I think that it's going to be easier for me to be like, okay, now I'm ready, maybe 6 months down the road to jump in and give it a try. But my Fue Coco is just going to have to wait. I've also seen the Evolve form, and sorry, buddy, it's not going to happen. You're going to be a little bubble guy forever.
You're going to be a bubble bobble fire boy forever. A little himbubble.
That's what it is.
I do want to say one thing, and this is something that I never thought would ever happen. They actually admitted that the performance was terrible. Like, they put out a public statement and they were like, yeah, we know that this is bad and we're going to make changes towards it. And I was like, wow, I was not expecting them to say that. So fingers crossed.
Sometimes
that you have performance changes.
Sometimes you just got to get out and own it and get in front of it and control the narrative, right? Rather than let it continue to fester and like let other people spin it in a way that it gets out of control. Come out early, be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're right. There are a few things that are, not working well right now, and we're going to fix it. And then people will stick around and wait for that to be fixed and be loyal fans. The Southwest could take a page out of the Pokemon's book right now. They could really get out in front and come out and say something right now. For those who are traveling right now and are struggling to get home, listen to our podcast.
Gosh.
We'll get you through the tough times, and
Yeah, having a Switch in those scenarios is exactly what you want. And I still think that's a huge advantage that Switch games have to this day compared to most platforms, is that you still have that immediate convenience of being able to just take your stuff with you. And maybe there's a small performance hit when it's not in docked mode, but for the most part, the game just works. It works great. It plays great. And it was definitely a lifesaver for me on the way out to Vegas, because your boy was stuck in the middle seat.
So Nick, is your Game of the Year award coming from the Switch then? Is it something from Nintendo? Where do you stand this year?
Like I had teased earlier, Brad, and this is just completely out of left field, and it's based more on my personal experience. I gotta give it to Power Wash Simulator. I'm not even sure if the game came out in 22, but that's when I played it. This game is it is the next level of Zen. I had originally got it on Game Pass on console, and I put it away almost right away because the controller's not the way to play this game. I'm just gonna tell people straight up. That's not what you want to do. You want to play this with a mouse and keyboard to get that nice soothing, and it's just more freedom of movement with the mouse. Playing through this game was a journey in a way that I can't even put into words. Like, there is a whole narrative, there's a whole story going on. And you get more and more invested in it because you got nothing else to do for the 20 hours that you're slowly cleaning things just bit by bit by bit. And by the end of this, and anyone that was in that stream, the day that we beat it and they got the ending cutscene, I won't spoil it, I had to get the Kleenex for the first time in
Power Wash Simulator?
In years of streaming off and on different platforms. The first time I broke into tears. I had a breakdown, Aaron.
Am I missing something?
Did you beat it?
I've never played it.
You are missing it. Your viewers would love Power Wash.
Okay, Steam it is. Where's it at?
Yeah. It's a ton of content for $15, and they're adding more content in, and it's a really fun kind of narrative-based thing. It's something that I would have never played if I wasn't streaming, because I would have been probably bored with it. But being able to chat with people and interact and it's more of a, there's more downtime where I don't have to focus on a screen or something happening like in Fortnite, where I can just take a break and chat with people for a few minutes and then go back to cleaning. Yeah.
Hey Nick, here's a great content idea for 2023. I'll fly you out to my house and you can power wash my driveway. We'll put that on TikTok.
I love this idea.
I wouldn't doubt there's a lot of people that start a business because of playing this game. Seriously.
You're so good. I watched how meticulous you are in getting every nook and cranny on everything that you clean. So I know that you do a great job on my driveway. That's all I'm saying.
But based on what actual power washers have told me, I should have destroyed the siding of every house that I clean, because I'm at point blank range with a maximum power washer, just flooding a house by mistake. So
I've got one in the garage. If you want to come out here, I'll let you try it out.
Exactly. Well, Brad, we do need to move on to our next topic here, but real quick, did you have a contender there for Game of the Year?
Fall Guys coming out on Xbox. I think for someone who is a pretty heavy Fortnite player and has gotten into a few situations where launch of new seasons are sweaty and things, you need a change of pace. Fall Guys was such the right move. And I know it's been a delayed release for Microsoft, for Xbox, but we've had so much fun playing that as a group, as Quit the Build community. I think it's brought a lot of people together, and it's such a fun, it's just fun. It's easy. There's nothing too hard. There's nothing conceptually that's difficult. You just get in there, you play, and it's a blast. So shout out to Fall Guys.
There you go. We got Fluffy Bunny in chat said, I'd feel remiss if I played that. I've got several walkways and a patio that need cleaning in reference to Power Wash. But okay, Fall Guys. I wouldn't have expected that from you, Brad. But I mean, just based on, and I will say this, and after playing Fortnite and seeing, we tried some customs there. Because Kung Fu Penguin has access to that, and like there was just a lot of even when it was working, it was still not great. I love that Fall Guys makes it so easy to, as a streamer or even as just a host, to kind of like Jackbox games. Like here's a code, doesn't matter what country you're playing in, doesn't matter what platform you're playing on. If you can put that code in the screen, you are in this game, and that just makes it so easy to be inclusive and create a gaming experience that anybody can hop into, especially on a free to play game like Fall Guys. So I think that's a great pick.
We've talked about accessibility for this year, right? We talked about launching of games, first day accessibility, multi-platform, the integration of that, and making everyone feel inclusive. Fall Guys has got it's up there. It's they know how to do it.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, like I said, we do have to get into one more story here before the end of our stream, so we're going to keep things moving. And I do want to say one thing. If you like, I guess, am I going for a Power Wash segue here? If you like clean things, how about the absolute majesty of our Patreon? Yeah, that was a transition. Thank you, as always, to our Patreon supporters. I'm talking about our QTB and Fuego supporters: Epic Capture Productions, Matt.Bat, Alexa, Caitlin, Josh, Courtney, Megan, and our QTB Plus supporters: Nick, the Dudist Monk, Indie Gamiacs, Alan Abadessa, Mr. Grove Games, the Intergalactic Pinecone, Fluffy Bunny, and Terry the Kitten. If you would like countless hours of bonus content, bonus podcasts, and even some of our QTB jingles as ringtone form, the place to get it is on our Patreon. Tier start as low as $2 per month, and at our higher tiers, you get shout-outs on each and every episode of the QTB podcast and merch that you can't get anywhere else. Check it out, and it's patreon.com/quitthebuild. The link is in the chat, in the show notes. I mean, honestly, I'm dead serious, Brad. Can we just keep... Aaron doesn't even need to talk. I just want him to be like our one-man audience. Can we do that?
I was just thinking about this.
Is that a feather duster?
If you had Aaron and Bruno, I wasn't on, and it was you, Aaron, and Bruno, I don't even know if you get through the episode. Them together would be a blast. It would be incredible. Yeah.
Is that a rose?
Segues, it's a feather duster, right?
No, it's a rose.
It's flowers. It's black flowers.
Oh,
and a black bouquet.
That's so
I couldn't tell.
I know.
Just with like your backdrop, I couldn't tell. Oh, wow. Wow. Ooh, that was, oh my, hold on.
Oh my.
There we go. You're going to make me blush. But awesome stuff. Yeah. All right. So our next story, and this is an interesting one that's kind of lead into a different conversation entirely, is coming from thedrive.com for our racing fans. The story is talking about iRacing. That is kind of a pro scene as well as a community of gamers that kind of rally around, no pun intended, racing game content. And they have announced that at the end of 2022, their license for IndyCar content is going to expire. When it does, much of their official support for Indy Sim racing will be not only terminated, but banned outright. Like, you won't be able to play any kind of IndyCar content in this iRacing league. And on there, I mean, iRacing goes a long way. And what's crazy about this is, like, people have invested thousands of dollars into, like, sim racing rigs. QTB's Bruno, who, he is huge into sim racing. He's done some articles on the blog, even done some live streams with sim racing. And, he kind of expressed some outrage about this, about, like, it's just so crazy that, the conversation that I really want to have here that kind of pertains to more than just sim racing is licensing, right? Because you think about what happens in a scenario like this, where a license runs out, and then, maybe there's a disagreement between the two parties, or, the money just isn't where it is or where it used to be, or the game isn't as popular, the license isn't as popular. It used to be that if that were to happen, well, the game still exists. Like, Batman, Capcom making Batman games back in the NES days. the games are still there because even though they don't make them anymore, it's still its own finished product in physical media that's untouched and doesn't require an update. But in 2022, where licenses, once they expire, it creates a really big problem of, you may lose access outright to games and content, and games may not be the same game that you remember them being before. So, I mean, my question for you, and I'll turn this over to you first, Ahren, it's very upsetting when this kind of thing happens. But, do you think that it's a bigger industry problem? Because I look at games like Fortnite, right, where, for the most part, licensed content sticks around long term. They don't have to change it or alter it. Like, when you read stories like this, does it concern you about gaming in a world where, like, free-to-play games are always looking for that next crossover? Like, could this be a bigger industry problem if these contracts expire and they're just like, that game's gone forever?
I'm going to be really honest with you.
Yeah.
I have retained zero information that just happened in the past. My ADHD went burr. I am so sorry.
No, and it's okay because here's the thing: it's a lot to take in. Because the story itself there's kind of layers to it, right? And I'll turn it over to Brad here real quick because I know we talk a lot, and Brad's kind of our business behind the scenes guy.
That's fine. I just watch Will and Grace and just have a good time over here while I listen.
I saw you. I'm not gonna lie. I was listening to Nick, and I saw you, Ahren, over there, and I saw you just holding, and the corner of the Will and Grace DVD popped onto the screen. I saw that, and I was like, oh no, is he like reading the like epilogue on the back of the box?
Why are you calling me out? That's exactly what I did. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
But I multitask, so I'm ready, Nick. I'm ready. I'm going to break it down for you. Here's my take. So we don't really know exactly the T's and C's, terms and conditions of these exclusivity or licensing contracts. We really don't know what that looks like. I think you really have to take it on a game-by-game basis. Something like Fortnite is probably pretty easy to maintain because it kind of ends, right? The deal is we pay you, you let us use this skin for this amount of time. Like, we're going to create and sell this skin for X amount of days. And then whoever buys it owns it, and they're allowed to own that in perpetuity. But we're not allowed to resell that after X date. I'm assuming that's probably how most Fortnite skin or, licensing contracts are done. Because a lot of times you don't see those skins re-pop up into the shop unless they've built that into the contract, right? I think we've seen some of the Dune, like Dune just came back out. I saw that those skins are like the Tom Holland, what's that one with him in the desert? I mean, there's been a few of those that have re-popped up a couple of times.
What is that called?
Uncharted?
Yeah, I know.
Uncharted. It's Uncharted.
There we go.
I'm the guy.
But if you look at that stuff, it's probably something that's baked into like, this is how many times within this time frame you can sell those in your shop and then the deal's over. Right. Yeah. But if you're talking about games that are like a partnership with like a company that is core to that game, if it's a sporting game, like a racing game with like a company that's like, you need that branding to make this game feel legit. And then that deal falls through, then yeah. And there's nothing on the back end that ensures you allows you to continue the game without that. Then yeah, there's a risk there that games that are based like, you need the Ferrari, you need the Ferrari contracts, you need the Mercedes-Benz contracts, you need you need those contracts to make those games to have those brands feel legitimate. That's a risk because then if you can't, you have to like replace them with something different. Like, it's not going to feel real. And I think for a lot of those games, you're aiming for it to be, I mean, look at the graphics, look at the gameplay. I mean, these rigs, right? Thousands of dollars people spend on these rigs to make the driving feel as close to the real thing as possible. And then when all of a sudden now what you're seeing isn't real because the licenses fall through, there's a risk there. So you got to wonder, how does the business landscape change to let these gaming development companies structure these contracts in a way that ensures that there's longevity for their game. It doesn't make or break it based off of this deal with this company, these companies, because they hold all the leverage then. It really puts them in a tough position.
Here's I think a good transitional point here because, like I said, it's a very wide sweeping topic. I think about Rock Band. Okay, now Harmonix, they were recently acquired by Epic Games. Rock Band has had, so many different games come out, and I remember back in when Rock Band 4 first came out, they had the ability where you could import your library from previous Rock Band games. But the problem was that it is a licensing nightmare where every single track had its own expiration date, you know, and a start date, and for some songs it's part of a bundle, for some it's not. Some games you couldn't import at all, like Rock Band Beatles. They had to be its own separate entity. And so I had this huge library of songs, and like every single thing, if I wanted to import it into Rock Band 4, I had to go through like 5 or 6 steps. And some things, like there was a window, like a cutoff. Like, oh, you own Rock Band 2? Tough. Like 6 years ago was the cutoff to actually import it because of some piece of paper somewhere that said that.
Right, yeah.
And the same thing happens with delisted content, where like there's all these great bands where like Rock Band 4 is still producing content to this day. It is an ongoing live service and has been for a very long time. And that there are still songs that like, yeah, Ahren is like, wait, what? Yeah, Rock Band is still going in 2022. Look that
Rock Band still exists?
Yeah, Rock Band 4 was launched as a live service game, and it's still rocking to this day. So most of the Harmonix's other games have been shuttered, but like that's the one thing that like is still working like fiscally. So like it's just crazy musically speaking, because I mean, Ahren, you're a musician, right? Like, you know, when you start getting into Spotify, and you know now, you know, if someone comes knocking and wants to, you know, put a certain song in a certain place, like it can get complicated very fast, right?
Not for me. I'd say yes, go for it.
This is why
they don't even have to pay me.
Correct.
They wouldn't. If Guitar Hero was like, we want to put one of your songs in our game, I'd be like, let me pay you. Thanks for the advertisement.
Careful, they might try that.
but I think if I'm going to pull a page out of our good, you know, QTP's Bruno's book here, he especially, and he talks about this with the Switch, right? He's like, that's why I always want to own physical copies of games. He goes, at the end of the day, I know that I'm always going to own that game and have what I have on that game with that console if I have a physical copy. We live in a world now with Game Pass and digital buying, and things are so easy to obtain so quickly in a digital way, but at any time that can disappear, right? And so I think there is kind of a layer here, right? We talk about the layers of this conversation, that physical media is still important because it gives you as the consumer some actual tangible right to a product, right? You're not just, hey, I paid a transaction and I obtained a code and I downloaded something and now that disappeared and there's no way for me to prove or get that back. Well, I've got a physical disc, or I've got a physical little SIM card or something that shows that I bought it and have played it, and I still can, like, I can pull out my old Super Nintendo and all my cartridges and plug that sucker in and play that when I want because I have all the physical games.
There you go.
If I could
just
add
like
one
Ahren
thing
has
onto
physical media of Will and Grace.
That's true. If I could add one thing to the physical aspect as well, next to the Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo Switch has some of the best looking packaging when you have it in like mass. Like all of the little Switch boxes together looks absolutely phenomenal. Like you can't do that with like an Xbox 360 or like a PS3. Like those look kind of clunky and they kind of chip and stuff. Like, well, so does the Switch, but you get what I mean. Like the packaging for a Switch, when you have them like in a collection, looks awesome. Sorry.
No, fantastic. Okay, but yeah, and I agree. You know, it's always great when when actual there's some kind of like standard with packaging where you get that consistent look, because and even then, like there are videos of people showing like, okay, well, I collect physical Switch games. Like here's the one game that is just they didn't even try to like sync it up with everything else. And that happens a lot now that we're in this era where like Switch games get those limited run, you know, releases of games where you're kind of at the mercy of the 100 copies that were printed, that like they actually care about how it looks on your shelf. And it's an important thing, and you're right. I think there are other platforms like the 360 and even other older forms of legacy media where like the box sizes and what you got was wild.
Do you remember the N64 boxes? I mean, those things were massive and thick. They were I mean, that was a lot of cardboard. I mean, granted, you had a thick cartridge to package, but man, those things were massive. Massive.
Yep.
They were cool, though.
They were.
They were cool.
There you go. Okay, final question here for you, Ahren. Best Will and Grace character, go.
So here's the thing. When I look at this Will and Grace box, I don't recognize a single person.
Oh, no.
I've never seen Will and Grace. Why I have this?
Why?
I have no clue. But the same could be said for why do I own a Snuggie box? What is this even thing?
Wait, is that an animal? It's an animal Snuggie.
It's a little kid's animal Snuggie friggin' thing made for children. I don't know why I own it, but I do.
Best guest ever, Brad? Best guest? I think this has got to be number one.
This is incredible.
I'm having a great time.
I was going to say he probably thought he bought a Dharma and Greg DVD instead of Will and Grace, but he just realized he got the wrong one.
What a throwback. I love it. Two guys and a girl in a pizza place. We're just going to go into 90s sitcoms now.
Yeah.
Oh, Chad is very, very... Oh, they said Ahren, not the Snuggie. Oh, no.
This is season 7. Why do I have season 7?
We're seasons 1 through 6, Ahren. I don't...
It's just season 7.
Just season...
They grew up so fast.
They did. We obviously need to have a watch party for season 7. Just start with season 7.
I could have just lied and said Will and or Grace.
You could have just said anything. You could have said Hank, and I would have believed you. I haven't seen the whole show. There you go.
I apologize.
Bruno says that Ryan Reynolds was in that. I believe him.
Ryan Reynolds was? Wow, Ryan Reynolds looks
Probably
different.
Paul Rudd was too. Paul Rudd showed up in everything in the 90s. We just didn't realize it until now.
Paul Rudd's America's treasure, man. He's been in he's great. He hasn't aged one bit. He's found the fountain of youth because he looks the same.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what also always looks the same, and that is the level of quality content that you're going to get at our website. I'm talking about quitthebuild.com. Make sure to stop on by. There you go. Type it in just like that. You're a hunt and peck there, guy. I would have thought, you would have been as fast as you type. That's actually very impressive. Go to our website.
Quitthebuild.com.
And you thought, Brad, that only Bruno had the voice changer. Okay.
I just feel left out now. I feel like I'm the one that doesn't have anything cool to do or change, or I don't have a soundboard. I'm just here to talk.
Don't worry, Brad. I will always be here for you, especially on quitthebuild.com. Oh my.
Hold on.
This is a segue.
There it is. Thank you, announcer guy. There we go. Thank you so much. And yes, that the name of that voice is, in fact, Daddy Death. I can confirm. Chad knows. Thank you, guys. Head to our website, quitthebuild.com. Go to our blog. Check out our blog articles. Check out the links that we have to join our Discord community. And go to our merch page. Get yourself some swag. That is Squad Swag. We got all sorts of great stuff there waiting for you. And my gosh, Ahren, tell the people where they can find you on them interwebs.
So on Zynga, it's Ahrenhead101. If you head to MySpace, it's shifted_soul. On RuneScape, it's freestuffplox27. And on TikTok, it is Ahren Gray Games. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Look at this guy.
Dank memes.
I mean, it's just he pulled out every dead website like in the past 10 years, and I'm here for this life.
Tom may be back. We may have not seen the last of Tom.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say.
I saw that.
There's a chance.
There's a small. I mean, look, if he's going to tweet something, and Elon said he hasn't figured out a replacement yet. If this is Tom's redemption story, all I'm going to say is that profile picture better not change, because that is a weird source of comfort for me, seeing that man at a marker board all these years later. And they better bring back the top 8. Ahren, you can be in my top 8.
On Twitter, Twitter's top 8. I mean, that has a ring to it. I mean,
I'm in Nick's top 8.
Just saying.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. You and then Matt Damon 7 times. all the Matt Damon Stan accounts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
None of them will have the blue or yellow checks, whatever that is now. So
that's it. All right. Well, yeah. Awesome episode, and thanks everybody for checking it out. Happy New Year! If you're listening to this, maybe it's already the new year. But what a year 2022 has been. And in all seriousness, guys, check out Ahren Gray. They're on TikTok at Ahren Gray Games. You're streaming video game. You don't want them to go there. Is that what I'm getting?
I'd prefer that they add me on MapleStory or Neopets. Whatever works best, to be honest with you. I'm here for it.
I mean,
Club Penguin is gone, but they have some back end server situation. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, let me play them off. Alrighty, well, it's been a fun show there. Thank you all so much. Ahren, I haven't told you this, and we spring it on every guest. Hopefully you're paying attention here. We do have to end the show in a very specific way. You're going to go third. Brad's going to go second. I'm going to go first. Let's see if he can get it, Brad. I believe in him. I believe in him. Okay.
Too.
It's been fun, everybody. We're going to see you next time right here on the QTB podcast. For Ahren and Brad, I'm Nick.
And for Ahren and Nick, I'm Brad.
And for Ahren, Nick, and Brad, I'm Ahren.
Close enough. That's going to work. As Bruno says, peace out. What it do?
Quit the Build.